Hi, I'm Chef Lau and ito na yung pinakahintay natin for Father's Day, ang ating ribeye steak with honey compound butter. Wow! Okay, kung sinabi mong compound butter, ano ba yun? Ito na. Alright, when you say compound butter, you're introducing other flavors to your butter and then chill mo siya ulit sa ref or sa freezer and then you can use it as a finishing butter. Take note, finishing butter. Hindi panluto to, pang finish lang. So, ito na yun. Alright. We'll be using for this is Subi raw honey. Very intense yung flavor ng Subi raw honey, which is perfect for this compound butter. Wow, this is unfiltered, unadulterated, pure honey. Look at that, diba? Alright. And of course, you need butter. Your butter should be softened a little bit. Kasi nga, we're gonna mix in other flavors. What are the other flavors? We're gonna put some garlic. We're gonna use fresh herbs. In this case, this is fresh thyme. You can use any fresh herbs or even dry herbs will be good. You can use rosemary, you can use basil, tarragon, kahit anong herbs. And also spices we will use. Here we will use paprika, Spanish paprika, and we're also gonna put some salt and freshly ground pepper. Ayan. Now for our ribeye steaks, very important when choosing steaks, mas maganda if you pick the ones that are thick cut. At least an inch. In this case, this is more than an inch. Halos 2 inches na nga yung kapal nito. Which is better kasi the thicker your steaks are, the juicier it will be. Don't get steaks na less than 1 inch. Siguro mga maybe 3/4 inch pwede pa, but half inch, it's not anymore nice for steaks. Maybe you can use it for other meat dishes, pero for me, I like my steaks nice and thick. Here I got a Australian ribeye. Australian steaks compared to US steaks, they're not as fatty or marbled, but I like the flavor of Australian steaks because they're grass-fed, so mas cleaner yung taste. But if you prefer yung mas fatty, mas marbling, mas tender, you go for US Angus beef. Or kung talagang you wanna impress your dad, get Wagyu steaks from Japan. That's the best. Yes. But now I have this nice thick cut Australian ribeye steaks. So, yan yon. And very important when you also cook steaks, make sure that bago mo siya lulutuin, before you cook it, it has to be in room temperature. I took this out of the refrigerator 30 minutes ago para hindi siya masyado malamig because you want the steaks to cook as fast as possible. The longer you cook the steaks, the less juicy it will be. At least in this kind of technique. There are many other techniques that you can cook steaks, pero I'm gonna show you the most simple way to cook steaks. Alright? And what's that way? I'm using a very heavy pan. Oh, bigat. This is very heavy. This is a solid cast iron pan. This is very thick, this is very heavy. This is very important when you cook steaks because it will retain a lot of heat. So kahit maglagay kayo ng steaks dito, it will still be hot, which is very crucial to have nice, crusty steaks. When you say crusty steaks, later I'll show you what crusty means. It means the surface of the steak has that nice layer na medyo crusty and then juicy inside. That's what you like. Because if your pan is thin, it will just burn your steaks. It's not gonna create that nice crust. Alright, so before we cook our steaks, I'll show you how to make the compound butter. Alright, so you have a butter here. You have fresh herbs. In this case, it's thyme. You have paprika and salt. You can use unsalted butter or salted butter, it doesn't matter. If you're using salted butter, then you don't need to put so much salt. Fresh pepper. And of course, our Subi unfiltered raw honey, the best. Look how thick. This is all natural honey. No water added, no syrup added. And also we're gonna add some garlic. I'm just gonna mince this garlic. Again, you just pound these garlic cloves. How much garlic to put? It's up to you. If you want it more garlic, then put more garlic. So what you do, you just, again, you can hold your left hand here by the middle part of your knife and they just do a rocking motion like this. Alright, so we're just gonna put this minced garlic. Nice. And then, using a fork or a spatula if you have, just mix all the ingredients together. Wow, look at that. Make sure to really mix it equally. Now, very important that your butter is soft but not melted, because if you melt the butter, then it'll be impossible for you to roll this back. And I'll show you later how to roll your compound butter. Now I'm gonna show you how to roll this compound butter. It's a bit tricky. What you need is a cling wrap or a plastic wrap. You can also use wax paper if you don't have plastic wrap. So, and then you add your butter with all the spices in the center. Okay, we roll it first like this. Make sure when you roll it, you don't want any gaps that the butter can escape. And then this side you turn clockwise, and this side you turn counterclockwise. Ayan. So we have this nice log of compound butter. Now we're just gonna put this in the freezer, or you can even just put this in the ref if you're not gonna use it immediately. While we wait for that, our steaks are getting nice and room temp, getting ready to cook on my cast iron. So here, all you need to do, since you have a good piece of meat, I just put salt and pepper, that's it. So I'm using sea salt. And also freshly ground pepper. Make sure to put a lot of salt because it's a thick piece of meat. Don't be shy. And then also put a lot of pepper. When you sear meat, it's not because you want to sear in the juices. It's not gonna keep the juices inside. The reason why you sear the meat is you wanna brown it. And when you brown the meat, it becomes more delicious, it has more flavor, and looks great, all right? So make sure you salt two sides. You can see our pan is smoking, that's good. So important to use a thick pan like a cast iron. Okay, now I'm going to use oil. Don't use butter or don't use extra virgin olive oil. You want to use oil that has a high burning point, meaning it can take high temperatures without breaking down. That way, you're not gonna also burn your steaks. When you put the oil, it's gonna dance. See? It's like it's dancing. Mainit na yan. Again, you're gonna hear a sear. Alright. Avoid doing this with your steaks. You don't need to do that. It's not gonna make your steaks juicier, or it's not gonna speed up your cooking time or make your crust browner or better. Just let it be. Diba? You have a nice crust. Yes, look at that. That's what we're looking for. You see this? That is flavor. Nice. You see there's a layer of crust there. That's why it's nice that your steak is thick. So even if you have a nice layer of crust here, you still have a soft and juicy part here in the middle. There. So now, we're gonna transfer this to an oven to continue cooking. Oh, look at that. See? This is the browning that you're looking for in your steaks. That is perfect. Alright, so I preheated my oven to 175 degrees C centigrade or 350 degrees Fahrenheit, and you can keep cooking the steaks depending on how thick your steaks are and depending how you want it done. Me personally, I like it medium rare, so I'm just gonna cook it in the oven for around 10 minutes. Alright, so our steaks has been in the oven for around 10-15 minutes. I think it's already good, so we're gonna take it out. You could also check the doneness of your steaks by doing the touch. If it's still soft, that means it's either rare or medium rare, which I love. If it's a little bit firm, then it's medium. If it's really firm, then it's either medium well or well done, which normally you don't want to cook your steaks well done. Maybe most is medium well, but I want it juicy, so I like it rare to medium rare. So this is, I think, around that doneness, all right? You just want this to transfer this to a nice platter. And you want to let this rest for at least 5 minutes just to let the juices settle in, because when you cook steaks, imagine this is a close-up of your steak. This is like the protein strands of your steak. Imagine, huh? So when you cook the steaks, especially in high heat, this is what happens to your protein. It contracts. So you don't see any spaces anymore, because like your muscle, when it contracts, see, it's hard. While it's resting, we're gonna take our superstar compound butter. So you can see there's the herbs and stuff. Ah, look at that. See? All the flavors, the garlic, the herbs, the paprika spice, and of course, our raw subi honey. Maybe just put 2 slices each. There. So make sure there's no more plastic. Yep. So now we're gonna put the compound butter on our steaks, and it will just gently melt. And it will coat your steaks. Wow, you can see the butter, compound butter melted, and all the herbs, the garlic, the spices, it's all now on the steak. And if you can just smell this, it smells really good. And not only does it makes your steak taste good, it also adds that yumminess, that moisture, that juicy factor. So this is awesome. So look at the butter, it has completely melted. So here we go. Our ribeye Angus steak topped with honey garlic compound butter using Subi raw unfiltered natural honey. Perfect for Father's Day. Smells good. Again, thank you so much. This is Chef Lau. Thanks for watching. Happy Father's Day.